All right, guys, so watch this video for Monday, May 11th, showing you the SPY here. This thing is resilient. The market just holding up, does not want to roll over, so it's pretty impressive strength. Those of you that didn't make it to the chat room on Friday, just a couple quick mentions. I want to give hats off to the Tesla whisperer, Wayne, who just has this stocks number. He called this second mouse play 797, so right about here. And you can see how quickly that went up. It actually ended up going to 824 on probably $3 a share risk, which isn't much on Tesla. On other stocks it would be, but what a great call. Also, if you weren't there, I did call Camping World, CWH. Wasn't the best call because it had already popped. You know, it ran right out of the gate, but it was flagging. I called it long, basically second mouse right there through 1350. But it was quick, right? From the entry, 10-15 minutes, it went up 1460, so $1.10 in our favor, even though I missed this initial move, and that's just because I don't jump in anything at the open. We wait for A+ setups to form, so that was nice also. Let's go right into what I'm watching for Monday. PVAC, I believe is an oil and gas play. Nice pop back here, and it's really just kind of flagging. If oil gets going, gets any kind of a bid, I like this setup, so this is one I'm going to look for. Certainly looks good on the daily if it breaks 719, which was Friday's high. I have another oil and gas play, I think, on the list, but I'll do these in the order I have them written down. So CREX, which I believe is in the thermal camera, thermal imaging, trying to get businesses back on track. And I think a lot of businesses are going to staff with these thermal imagers. I don't know what the hell you call them, thermal imaging devices. To make sure no one's coming in with a high fever and that sort of thing, probably for employees and for patrons, right? So anyway, let's keep our eyes on this one. It did have a nice 2-day bounce. I'm not in love with it because, it's already had two green days in a row. I had it on Bounce Watch a couple days ago, but I'll tell you what, in the last 2 days, even though they've been green, I haven't found what I call an A+ setup. So that's the one I'm probably least excited about, but you never know. Maybe volume comes in. This FLDM had this big spike back here, and it's forming kind of a loose, ugly flag, but the thing is holding up really well after this big volume spike. So with that said, and look at the big gap down it had on Friday, right? Closed here and then opened down here on Friday and ended up closing near its high. So it's definitely one to watch. CODX, CODX. Huge move back here on near, early COVID days. Then you put in a lower high right here, just above 16, and it's really kind of bounced, and it's doing this little flag pattern right below 16. It definitely had sellers coming in this area, but it seems to be building and putting in higher lows and stuff. So it's definitely one to watch. BLCM had a big volume spike on Friday and a pretty strong close. The 200 days up there at 978, which I don't have the 200 day on this chart, but 978, it's probably right up about here. Certainly worth watching for a follow-through day. Capstone, CPST. Strong move here, then a strong move here, which would have been Wednesday. Sellers came in Thursday, and it's curling right back up again. So maybe over this 3-day high. One thing you should notice on this one, though, is the daily range on this one's pretty weak. So I generally don't trade this thing because you want something that has kind of proven it can move a pretty good percentage on a given day. And I would say CPST doesn't really fall into that category, but I want to put it on a chart. SM is another oil and gas play that had a nice pop a week and a half ago and really kind of forming a nice flag. We had a nice trade in it on the day after that big pop, and we're going to watch it again. APDN. This is one that usually gets slapped down. I talked about this, right? Every time you see a pop on the daily, it gets slapped back down, but it's kind of building. It's putting in higher highs and higher lows, and it seems to have found support here. So I keep thinking one of these days, this one is kind of set up to maybe have a short squeeze where it traps some shorts who are kind of banking on this thing never holding gains. If it does hold gains, look out. We might get a nice move. So that one's on watch. I already talked about the call-in Camping World, CWH, on Friday. With the big volume day and a fairly strong close, we're going to watch for a follow-through day on that one. Beyond Meat, really strong. BYND, really strong lately. It's already made a big move. Keep in mind, like 4 sessions ago, this was in the 80s, and now it's in the 130s. So I feel a little irresponsible putting it on watch. I doubt I'll trade it on Monday, but you never know. It's strong enough. Sometimes things that, things that are stocks that are falling, and you think they can't fall any further, they keep falling. the same thing can apply to stocks that are pretty strong. They can go higher than you expect as well. So anyway, we'll keep that on watch all week. MRAM, nice volume day, closing well off its highs though, but we're going to keep that one on a chart. A couple more. CARS, big breakout 3 days ago, so it would have been Wednesday, then Thursday, kind of a quiet inside day, and then Friday, closing above its open, but closing well off of its highs. I would still say, hey, this is resilient enough that I want to put it on a chart this week. And then MGNX had this massive move on Wednesday. You get a couple days lower on declining volume. What I'd like to see is an afternoon opening range breakout, an afternoon breakout out of a kind of a narrow range on the day. One thing you should note is that, yeah, it's had a couple lower days on declining volume, but we're still so extended from the moving averages that it still feels a little early to be watching this for a bounce, but I'm going to anyway. And keep in mind, I won't take any trades unless one of these gives an intraday A+ setup. So we'll add gappers to this list in the morning as well. Should be plenty to trade on Monday, and we'll see you in the chat room in the morning.